Well, now that the news about Six Flags America has kind of died down, I've had a lot of time to really think about where the future of some of these coasters could end up at. And as if you didn't know, Six Flags America is officially closing, I think on November 2nd of this year, and they have 9 coasters. And there's some decent rides there that you would just think that would make so much sense for the new Six Flags to relocate them to other parks. I've watched a few other content creators' predictions and thoughts on this, and great thoughts, great predictions. A lot of mine are the same exact ones I was thinking, but there's one caveat to that, and I just don't think that there's a lot of these rides that are going to be going to certain parks, because I don't think those parks are going to be in the long-term plan for the Six Flags chain. With that being said, Theme Park Brandon, and the shirt I'm wearing right now is really trying to really make me even more positive about the situation, because obviously whenever a theme park closes, it's unfortunate. It sucks. Like, I don't like it. I understand why they did it 100%. When you have King's Dominion, Six Flags Great Adventure, as well as Dorney Park, all within a 2-hour drive or less of Six Flags America. And then when you look into the factors of where the park is located, you know, there's a lot of variables to that. It's 15 minutes east of downtown Washington, D.C. So the land value right there alone is just through the roof. So it makes sense. I don't think anyone should be surprised by this. I mean, we've all been kind of saying that, at least I have, for years now, that this will be the first park to go. Even when it was just under the Six Flags name and not even the new merged company. With that being said, let's get into this. The first coaster we need to talk about is Firebird, which opened up at Six Flags America, I think in 2012. And this originally opened up at Six Flags Great America in Chicago, Illinois in 1990. This was B&M's first ever roller coaster. And will it get scrapped? Will it get relocated? Well, this ride sucks and it's old. I see zero chance of it getting sold or relocated. I just don't think the ride itself is very good at all, and it doesn't make sense to spend even $1 million or whatever it would be to relocate the ride to another park, because again, roller coasters are like us. They all have lifespans. And good news for us, Firebird is near the end of its lifespan. Part of my voice, I was at Cedar Point at Kings Island over the weekend. Did a lot of screaming and having a good time, so there you go. Let's talk about the Great Chase, the park's kiddie coaster. And this ride, it's just a standard kiddie coaster, nothing to it. Opened up in 1999. I could see this ride get relocated. And near the end of the video, I'm going to share with you guys where and what parks I think could potentially see these new rides show up at. The big one of the big ones for me is Joker's Jinx. This premier spaghetti bowl coaster opened up in 1999. I love this ride. It is so much fun without having the building around you. It's the same layout as Flight of Fear at Kings Island and King's Dominion, but there's no mid-course brake run. And so I personally like it better for that reason, and you don't get stopped on the mid-course course. But I like the outdoor version of it. I am torn on this. I think it's probably a 75% chance getting scrapped and a 25% chance of getting relocated, and I'll tell you about which park I think that could be coming up later. I think you might be a little bit surprised. Next is the Professor Screamore's Skywinder, which is a Vekoma SLC. This ride was just rethemed recently and got brand new trains, the good Vekoma hang and bang trains. Will it get relocated? I mean, it might, but I highly, highly doubt it. I mean, this ride is old. It's coming up on 30 years, and it's 30 years old actually, and that's just, it's already been or was one of the worst Vekoma SLCs out there. So I do not see this ride getting relocated. It might get sold off overseas, but not within the Six Flags chain. So therefore, I think it's going to go to the scrapyard. I think we could see the new trains being shipped over to a park and the company that could benefit from those, or potentially getting sold off, because they're brand new trains and they're great trains. The Raging Cajun. This was another ride that came from Six Flags Great America. It's a spinning wild mouse. It opened up in 2004 at Great America. Later on, it then went over to Six Flags America. This ride will get relocated, I think. It's a small footprint. It's a family spinning Wild Mouse. These are good rides. It's actually a really fun ride. So I think there's value there to this for Six Flags to consider relocating this to a different park. And then we have Roar, which opened up in 1998. Now I'm telling you, I've always thought that this park would have, just think about this. Where would Six Flags America be right now if, let's say, 4 or 5 years ago, they had RMC come in, make the track red, paint all the supports black, add around 20 feet, 30 feet to the height, and then have it just be a monster of an RMC creation? Would we still be talking about them closing the park down now? There's a chance, but I've always loved that vision of turning the corner and looking at this all black coaster. That would be awesome. But sadly, Roar, it's gonna be sold off for firewood for nearby people that live near the park, I'd imagine. Superman Ride of Steel opened up in 2000. This intimate hyper coaster is really good. It's actually underrated, I think. I really enjoy this ride. I've only been on it once or twice, and it's been over 10 years. I need to get back this year to ride it. So should you, because America is a solid park. You know, a decent ride lineup for the most part. I think I predicted this ride will get relocated somewhere to a different park in the company, and more on that here in a few minutes. Batwing opened up in 2001. This Vekoma flying coaster is the last of its kind. We already saw Six Flags Cedar Fair remove Firebird or Firehawk from Kings Island, and then Nighthawk from Carowinds this year. There is no way that this ride is going to get relocated to a different park. I mean, on paper it looks nice. Sure, this would be a great fit for multiple parks out there, but it will never happen. It's not going to happen. This ride will be scrapped. And sadly, opening up in 1986 is Wild One. A fantastic out and back wooden coaster. Honestly, this could easily be people's favorite ride at the park. That's how much fun this ride is. And I hate losing it, but I just don't see them relocating it to another park in the chain. Unfortunately, I would love to see another park out there pick it up and rebuild it and move it, but I just, nowadays, they cost so much money, the price of wood, the price of maintenance on them. I just don't think it's worth it. Even though this is an Ace landmark attraction, I just don't think it's going to be around. They're going to scrap it. Which brings me to the 4 rides that I think have a chance at getting relocated. Starting off with the Great Chase. Chance of getting relocated, I'm going to give about 80% here. And the park that I'm looking into is, there's 2. I can see Six Flags Over Georgia. And that makes some sense too, because Kid Flash was there and now it's not. They don't have a true, genuine kiddie coaster, but I could see that. But more on Over Georgia in a second, because I really think that the Six Flags St. Louis could benefit from a kiddie coaster as well. And I do think St. Louis is in the long-term plans for Six Flags. With that said, they don't have a traditional kiddie coaster. You have the big spin, what's it called? Durslauer spinning coaster, and then you have the new Vekoma. I don't know the name of I haven't been on it yet, but the new Vekoma family coaster that opened up 2 years ago. I think it's like Rookie Racer or something like that. So anyways, I can see it getting relocated to St. Louis or more than Over Georgia. Raging Cajun, however, could be Six Flags Over Georgia. They do not have a spinning Wild Mouse coaster at all, or a Wild Mouse ride like that. I think that would be a really solid fit. I personally would rather see Over Georgia build a new ground-up coaster as a new ride, but I think if they're going to relocate it, Over Georgia is a pretty solid choice, and I think the chance of getting relocated, all in general for this ride, will be 60%. The age does concern me. 2004, it's not a young ride, it's not a young coaster anymore. And let's see, Joker's Jinx, Dorney Park. I think Dorney Park makes the most sense because it's 2 hours away. They do not have a sit-down launch coaster that flips you upside down, and they have the room next to kind of near Steel Force, as you can see right here. This general area would do really well with this type of ride. I like this fit. I think this would be a really marketable attraction for Dorney Park. On the other side of that, back to Six Flags Over Georgia, they don't have a launching looping coaster or a full circuit launching coaster at all. So, and they have a giant parking lot area, as you see right here. that they could easily put this ride down and call it a day. So I think Over Georgia has a very good chance out of any park to get a new ride from Six Flags Over America. Which brings me to, with a 40% chance of getting relocated, I might catch some heat for that, I'm sorry, we have Superman Ride of Steel. And the reason why it's so low is this is a big ride. It opened up, 1999, 2000, whatever it was. Let's see, 2000, so the ride's already 25 years old. And again, another thing we have to look into, I've seen so many people like take the layout, put it at different parks, but a lot of these parks don't have the flat terrain. And this coaster needs a flat terrain. So there's only 2 parks in the chain that I think really makes the most sense that does not already have a hypercoaster that we can see Superman opening up at. And I'm going to go with Michigan's Adventure, have it be located kind of near Shivering Timbers, as you can see right here. This is, to my knowledge, is a relatively flat piece of land here. The park owns it, but there are so many things that they can do with it. I mean, you're talking different places, different placements of this coaster here. If Michigan's Adventure and Six Flags wanted to, they could even completely close in the park to make it one full loop with having the station plaza be located, somewhere in this general area. I think that is the really good fit for Michigan's Adventure. This ride just would do so well for that park. And if you remember right, back before Cedar Fair took over, Michigan's Adventure was all set basically to have a brand new hypercoaster for the park. But things got mixed up and didn't happen out the way the previous owners of Michigan's Adventure wanted, and so sadly no hypercoaster. But maybe 25 or maybe nowadays in 2026 or 7 we can get a brand new hypercoaster. We'll see. But I also think there's a chance for Six Flags St. Louis, and the reason why is the parking lot. I pulled the measurements of Superman, and it would fit if the station of the ride will be located near the American Thunder, the old Evel Knievel wooden coaster. I don't know how they can really have this area be accessed by the park itself, but I think that I really like St. Louis. I've always enjoyed this park, and they'd have to reconfigure the parking lot, and there's a lot of more obstacles for this one. But regardless, those are my predictions and thoughts on the Six Flags coasters. I would love to know what your thoughts are. And if you're looking at trying to visit some other great coaster parks here in America, then check out the video at the bottom of your screen where I basically showcase the top 10 coaster parks in America. Once again, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts and predictions on Six Flags America. And of course, remember to smile today, think positive, and keep riding coasters.